We're still looking at health matters, but this time in Yobe State, where the government has flagged off a vaccination exercise against meningitis across the local government areas. Launching the exercise in Damaturu, the state capital, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Bello Kawuwa, reaffirmed government's commitment to tackle the child killer disease.
Meningitis is a deadly infection that affects the delicate membranes known as meninges, which covers the brain and spinal cord. It is a viral or bacterial infection contagious among people in close contact. Health authorities in Nigeria say the disease often occurs in epidemic proportions between November and May, when the rainy season starts. Now, the Yobe State government is flagging off a vaccination exercise to fight the disease. The State Commissioner for Health says the immunization, which is a result of the partnership between the Yobe State government, the Federal Ministry of Health and Development partners, will help reduce the number of deaths caused by the disease.
The vaccination is going to be in two phases to ensure that we are able to reach every child. And then after the first phase of 8 local governments, the rest of the 9 local governments will be taken up from the 12th of February to 18th. And our hope is that we should be able to reach out to all children under the age of 6 years and below and vaccinate them against meningitis.
The representative of the United Nations Children's Fund assures them of continued collaboration to achieve the required results.
UNICEF, WHO, and other development partners will continue to provide needed monitoring to ensure quality of routine immunization, as well as state emergency routine immunization coordination committee activities.
There is hope that the exercise will help contain any possible outbreak of meningitis, especially with the changing weather conditions.
Ahead of the 2018 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination computer-based test, the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu Adamu, is asking candidates to make good use of the facilities located across the country. He mentioned this in Abuja shortly after conducting an on-the-spot assessment of the centres in company of the Registrar of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, who assures candidates that the board will continue to create reforms that will add value to the system. And to energy matters now, officers of the Department of Petroleum Resources have given the assurance that they will continue to monitor filling stations across the country to ensure that petrol is sold at the government-approved pump price. The DPR has been issuing sanctions on airing stations and warned all oil marketers to quickly sell the product once it's available.
The fuel queues experienced during the Yuletide and very early in the year may have disappeared in some states. But that does not stop the officials of the Department for Petroleum Resources from carrying out their duties. That is, monitoring to ensure fuel stations play by the rules. And for those who fall short, like some in Ogun State, the agency has imposed sanctions of 100,000 naira for hoarding, under-dispensing and selling above the approved pump price.
We are committed to ensure that the public get the right measures and also value for the money they pay.
Some stations in Delta State are also sanctioned for falling short of expectation. The DPR boss is not comfortable with the situation in Kano State, where fuel is sold above 200 naira per litre and queues still linger.
They're selling at 218 instead of 145. So we have sealed them, as you have seen. So they are going to pay the appropriate penalty.
In Plateau, it is a combined effort of men of DPR and of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. It records some success as an illegal depot is discovered.
Anybody selling above 145, anybody again that is selling to the black marketer, we are against it because this is what federal government doesn't want.
Katsina State is no stranger to sanctions. Not less than 13 stations have been shut down between January and now. Motorists tell tales of their frustrations.
I know they say poor no they dora, I poor CD, and they know they said poor.
In Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, not less than 15 stations have been sealed in a period of 2 weeks. That is the punishment for, among other offences, selling the product for between 170 and 200 naira. Beyond just sanctions, the DPR in Niger State considers dialogue as a lasting solution.
For many of them are happy today because those that don't have license, when we came here, we tried to really make them to comply, and a lot of them are happy today because they have got their license.
We would like to beg the government to bring product at our primary depot. That one will assist us better.
The effort of the men of the DPR may be yielding results in Cross River State, as residents now heave a sigh of relief.
I was buying 200 for that free station, but when I passed here, I see nobody in the free station. I went there, I see for a normal price.
It is the same story in Borno State, where motorists laud the efforts of men of the DPR.
We used to buy that 190, 185. But fortunately for us today, with your presence here in this police station, it has gone down to 145.
As the monitoring, sanctions, conversations and other moves to end the crisis continue, the hope of the end user is that they will yield results that make getting the products much easier and for the approved price.
Nigeria's revenue from crude oil rises. Animana has the numbers on Business News.
You first. First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. Well, thank you, Melinda. Government agencies are not just sanctioning airing filling stations, but there's some good news as total earnings from crude oil into the Federation account rose by 29% to 7.34 trillion naira in 2017 from 5.68 trillion naira in 2016 on increases in crude production and oil prices. That's according to the Central Bank's economic report for the fourth quarter of 2017. The report indicates that oil earnings, which represent 69% of the total Federation revenue, rose by 22% to 10.6 trillion naira last year, while non-oil revenue grew by 17% to 3.24 trillion naira in 2017. The CBN report also shows that the federal government earned 5.5 trillion naira as revenue in 2017 and incurred 2.8 trillion as expenditure. However, a higher deficit of 2.74 trillion naira was recorded. And the Central Bank of Nigeria today injected a total of $325.64 million into the interbank foreign exchange market in continued efforts to boost liquidity and reduce dollar shortages. The CBN says the $325.64 million was earmarked for the agricultural, airline and petroleum product sectors, as well as for raw materials and machinery. The bank says its dollar reserves, which rose by 4.6% to $40.56 billion as of January the 29th, are enough to maintain the international value of the naira, as well as guarantee access to forex by end users. The British government, through its export credit agency, UK Export Finance, says it will now accept naira payments from Nigerian business owners who make procurement in the United Kingdom. According to the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Arkwright, the arrangement shows the kind of value the UK places on its relationship with Nigeria. The British government says the local currency financing structure follows the same format as a conventional buyer credit in sterling or any other currency. Now let's flip over to the local bourse. Banking stocks dragged the NSE All-Share Index below the 42,000 level as the market ends the entire 5 trading sessions this week in negative territory. Tosin Additional has details.
Many thanks for joining us. sell-offs from the banking sector had the most impact on the local equities market at the close of Friday's trading session, following a sharp 2.07% drop as the NSE records its fifth straight loss. The all-share index went down by 0.46%, falling below the 42,000 mark, while the equities capitalization lowered by 72 billion naira on Friday and 407 billion naira this week. The market's downturn also follows losses from 31 decliners led by ICO Group, Unique Insurance and Multiverse. In contrast, the gains recorded by Tier 2 lenders Diamond, Sterling and Jais Bank. The volume of transactions for the day stands at 552.39 million shares, traded in 5,489 deals, contributed mostly by the shares of Sky Bank. And that's the stock market report for today. I am Tosin Adishino.
Thank you, Tosin. Well, U.S. markets get a quick rebound after a volatile trading session, but it's mostly negative close for the rest of the major global stock markets today. Let's take a look at some of the figures. Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Emana Amawe. It's back to you, Melinda.
You first. First Bank.
Many thanks, Emana. The Ogun State government has launched a solar hybrid mini-grid in Ijebu East local government area. Now, the project is a Nigerian energy support program with funding from the European Union and the federal government.
This is the official commissioning of the solar hybrid mini-grid in Gbamugbamu, Ijebu East local government area of Ogun State. It is an 85 kilowatt capacity solar power project. This initiative of the Nigerian Energy Support Program, with funding from the European Union and the German government, is expected to serve over 750 households in the community.
At the same time.
For the federal government, the need to use local sources to tackle the challenge of electricity supply cannot be overemphasized.
Our being here today is deliberate. It underscores the importance that government attach to provision of electricity in remote and underserved rural communities all over Nigeria through distributed power generation using locally available resources such as solar, biomass and wind.
As for the Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosu, maintaining and protecting government facilities is key for increased economic growth in the state.
It is our belief that with the measures being put in place, the issue of electric power supply will soon become a thing of the past. And with the successful commissioning of this project and others in the 5 other states involved in the phase 1 of the NSP program, the provision of electricity in the rural area will be achieved. Let me therefore use this opportunity to appeal to the good people of Gbamugbamu, because this is your own. You should take ownership of this project. You must guard it jealously and make sure it is protected at all times. As this will not only improve the economic activities of the people of this community and its environment, but will also enhance the livelihood of our dear people as well as discourage rural urban migration.
With more cooperation from foreign development partners, this alternative means might just be a good way of solving the epileptic power supply in Nigeria.
Still ahead on the news at 10, 2018 Winter Olympic gets underway as organizers stage a colorful opening ceremony in South Korea. That's on Sports News.